Iskandar. Iskandar, Iskandar, class name Rider, Rida, is the Rider class servant of Waver Velvet in the 4th Holy Grail War of Fate/Zero. He is summoned by Ritsuka Fujimaru in the Grand Orders of Fate/Grand Order. Alexander the Great, the King of Conquerors, Sifukuo, summoned as the adult aspect known by the name Iskandar, Iskandar, rather than the youthful aspect known as Alexander. Known by many names, Alexander, Iskandar, and Alexandros, he was the young prince of the small kingdom of Macedonia in the 4th century BC. Due to the influence of his mother Olympias, as a child he indulged in many tales of legendary heroes and came to believe he was the son of Zeus, despite there being an absence of clear evidence. He was known as a peerless pretty boy who was noticed by many sages, such as Aristotle, as a prodigy. During this period of his life, he spent much of his time training as a soldier, studying philosophy and political sciences, and reading great legends. While he bloomed with many talents, he approved of every and all possibilities, able to be called the personification of possibilities itself. He possessed a close friend, an amazing man, who truly began to show his talents after Alexander's death, who would often drag him around rambunctiously in a manner to his later encounter with Taiga Fujimura, expanding Alexander's horizons thanks to his actions. Though considered beautiful, his self-recognition in being the child of Zeus granted him strength, reducing his boyish looks over time. He later encountered the Gordian knot, cleaving the rope with his sword and taking the divine bulls offered to Zeus by King Gordius as his own for use with his chariot. Starting with succeeding the throne of Macedonia in Greece at the age of 20, his conquest quickly subdued the neighboring countries and became the leader of Corinth. His eventually eyed his ambitions towards the Straits, seeking to extend his reign into Persia. Sweeping through from the far west with his army, none underestimated it, rumors of its might spreading through countries long before the army's arrival. As his army's great morale overwhelmed even the most devoted of warriors, they were even more shocked when he spared them, told them of his goal, and returned dominion of the lands to the nobles. He exclaimed to them that, "My goal is the end of the world. My destination is the furthest border of the east. I want to behold Oceanus with my own 2 eyes. I want to leave my footprints at the beach beside that endless sea." Though they thought his words folly, many were rekindled to the dreams of their youth, setting off after Alexander to join his conquest. During the conquest of Persia, Alexander came to view Darius III in his Athanaton 10,000 as a worthy rival, blocking Alexander's path numerous times. The name Iskandar was given to him by the Arabs and the Persians. Due to Darius' immense height, after finally conquering the Persian Empire, Alexander required the footstool of Darius' throne to be swapped with a table to properly sit on it despite his own great height. This played a part in history recording Alexander as being short. After Persia and with a goal of the most extreme eastern edge of Asia, they marched through Egypt and through western India during the Great Eastern Campaigns. Marching without end, they crossed boiling deserts, passed over chilling, snow-capped mountains, and forded billowing rivers. They fought savage beasts and fought for their lives through numerous unknown foreign tribes displaying alien weapons and battle strategies. Although an innumerable number of soldiers died, they kept their great morale to the end, holding proud smiles and listening to the sounds of the ocean they sought in their hearts, despite never reaching it. In the end, he brought about the largest empire in history to date and became the great king who built the era known as the Hellenistic civilization. He reached the success of a great hero in just 10 years after beginning his conquest, but soon died after living only a period of 33 years. His dying words, "Leave everything to the strongest," ended up splitting it apart instead. His campaign to the east went as far as India. There, his troops and generals complained of fatigue, and so he turned back to Babylon, where he suddenly passed away. Following his death, the empire split into 4 warring factions that quickly disappeared into the sands of history. Due to his great exploits in life, some say he was chosen by the 12 historical gods of Olympus. Appearance. Rider is a gigantic man standing over 2 meters in height. He has large muscles that give the impression of being able to kill a bear with his bare hands. He has sternly chiseled features with eyes that give off a dazzling glow, able to overtake Waver's soul in an instant with their sharpness, and burning red hair and beard. He wears bronze armor, with cuffs and greaves with white furred fringes, that leaves his arms and thighs unprotected. He wears a thick red mantle with a fluffy white fur collar. It is luxuriously decorated, and looks like a curtain wrapping the stage of a theater. At stage 1, Rider wears his customary armor without his mantle. Rider's stage 2 appearance is the same as that of stage 1, but with the fur mantle added. Stage 3 Rider also wears added armor, and his fur seems a lighter color. while historical records called him short because he could not reach the footstool of Darius III's throne after conquering the Persian Empire and had to swap it for a table to sit on the throne. He claims that it is because he was truly short when compared to Darius. In the end, he considers that history written by random people cannot completely and accurately describe the situation back then, so he has no problems with the inaccuracy. During life, Alexander took the lead in wearing Asiatic clothing due to his interest in cultures of his conquered land, causing his followers to avert him like the plague. He does the same in the present, changing into contemporary-styled clothes while in public because of trying not to lag behind Saber in her suit. He orders an XL-sized t-shirt based on the Admirable Tactics video game he takes to playing in his free time. It is white shirt with the logo of the game imprinted on top of the world map, looking much like a cheapskate product from the game segment published on the front page of the special edition A magazine. He is very happy with it because it gives him the effect of having the whole world on my chest and goes well with the conqueror outfit. Due to his pride in the shirt, he first attempts to move around in public without any pants or undergarments, which he doesn't find to be strange in the least. He refers to pants as that thing that causes you to stumble, and hates the idea of having to wear them. Waver eventually buys him large jeans, so that he can actually go out without troubles. For the sake of protecting Iskandar from various forms of curses and magecraft, his body double in life developed numerous counterintelligence schemes. That is why the descriptions left behind about Iskandar, such as being small and thin with heterochromia, don't match the appearance of the servant Iskandar at all. Formal king. Personality. Iskandar is noble and physically overbearing. He is not pragmatic, but is a person who lets history run its course and acts according to his impulses. While he is wild and somewhat inconsiderate to others, his greed inspired his subjects and ultimately resulted in their happiness. He is always jovial, values friendship highly, and he regards the bond with all of his followers in Ionioi Hetairoi as his greatest treasure. They all, being inspired by such a magnificent king, in turn gives him their undivided loyalty and adoration. He also admires people who treat friendship with sincerity, such when he meets Taiga Fujimura. He is compassionate to those with whom he bonds, such as telling Waver that it is natural to be sickened by Castor's atrocities and that he would strike anyone who would feel nothing from the sight. He was adventurous and had the goal of reaching the edge of the world during his life, and he looks forward to conquering the world now that he has found out it is a sphere, and how small his empire that he spent his life conquering was compared to the size of the world. He desires to conquer the world as a human, so that is his only wish for the Holy Grail. He is not overly cruel as would be expected from a tyrant, but tries instead to keep bloodshed to a minimum despite his love for battles and destruction. He is fine with not actually winning the battle outright, and even attempts to recruit the other servants as his followers after witnessing their prowess for himself. He prefers to conquer his enemies by winning without killing and controlling without humiliating them. He admires Artoria's abilities as an individual and believes that she would be an amazing asset to his army. He is seen as a unique individual with strange ideas unbefitting of his legacy, but Waver is able to understand the meaning behind his conquest. He sees Iskandar as deserving of title of King of Conquerors, because that which he strives to conquer most is not lands or material wealth, but the hearts of people, the toughest conquest that can be undertaken by anyone. His way of kingship is his greatest pride, and as such, he despises Artoria's way of kingship, the direct antithesis. He calls her naive for considering sacrificing herself to save her kingdom, and goes so far as to denounce her as a king. He insists that a king should be setting vivid examples to be followed, bond with his subjects at personal level, and his way of living should be something inspiring to and envied by all under his rule, not a distant ideal or martyr whose deeds would be praised yet whose path is so full of sorrow and pain that it would only inspire a sense of dread. To him, a selfless king who isolates himself from his people to die for ideals is nothing but a fool, which is worse than a tyrant. He is also in opinion that a king should be vibrant, a figure who is inspiring and leading his people, instead of being a distant loner who concerns himself only with protecting and saving his people. Ultimately, he would grieve and weep over his losses and mistakes, but he would stay true to himself and never regret decisions made as a king. He has a mutual rivalry with Gilgamesh, and offers for a joint conquest to take over the world. Despite all servants who have first seen him thought him to be stupid and preposterous for a conqueror of his reputation, he eventually earns their respect, even Gilgamesh, who rarely shows any respect to anyone, but he claims that he will only ever have one friend. The respect Iskandar inspired in Gilgamesh is great enough that the King of Heroes deems him worthy enough to be faced with Ea and Enkidu in their final fight, even though Gilgamesh can easily win without using them. Despite his master's shortcomings and their vast differences in goals and personalities, Iskandar is very quick to start bonding with Waver on a personal level like he would with anyone during his reign, admiring his wit and determination despite Waver having the lowest of opinions of himself. During their first encounter with the other servants, Kenneth Archibald El Meloy, who was originally planning to summon Iskandar, begins to berate and torment Waver by calling him incompetent and weak. Iskandar instantly defends Waver's dignity by rebuffing Kenneth for only speaking to them while in hiding. Despite being timid, at least Waver would ride with him, and Iskandar notes that only someone who will ride onto the battlefield with him is worthy of being his master, so a coward who only hides in the shadows is a true shame to their battle. Iskandar is bisexual, so it is possible he would have attempted sexual relationships with both Kenneth and Soleui Nuadari Sofiari if he had been summoned by them. Iskandar takes a great interest in the modern world, often spending his free time eating crackers and watching videos to learn about the new world around him. He is also especially eager to go outside and experience things as a human. He especially takes a great liking to the video game called Admirable Tactics. Abilities. Having committed great deeds when he was alive, the heroic spirit Iskandar is a top servant. Due to this and his personality, he ends up becoming Saber's rival in the Fourth Holy Grail War. During the same war, Ryder is recognized by Gilgamesh as a true enemy and someone worth using his full strength on. He is said to be an equal match to Altera, however, when fighting her as a kind of warm-up, he easily loses. In combat, Iskandar mostly uses his noble phantasm Gordius wheel to trample the enemies with lightning strikes that generate the amount of magical energy Artoria or Diarmuid would use in an attack that utilized every ounce of their strength. When used as a surprise attack, it is strong enough to almost knock out Lancelot after one strike, forcing him to retreat. To summon the chariot, Iskandar slashes the air apart with his sword. Iskandar can also ride his horse Bucephalus. While seemingly preferring to ride into battle, Iskandar has shown no hesitation in fighting on foot, showing prodigious ability despite being geared better towards mounted battle. He stands against 3 assassins in Castor's sewer lair, skillfully predicting an ambush launched by one, intercepting the attack and killing the said assassin with ease. He would have taken the other 2 on if had they not retreated shortly afterwards. He later manages to get within striking distance, potentially capable of a killing blow against Gilgamesh, despite his agility being quite laughable by servant standards. The sword that Ryder wields is a spada, supata, referred to as the Sword of the Cupriotes, Cupirioto no Ken, Sword of Cupriotes, gifted to him in life by the king of the Cypriots. Its hilt was decorated with the likeness of a lion. Strong and lightweight, the blade can be wielded with great dexterity, and in the course of the story, it was able to deflect the assassin's dirks with demonstrable ease. Though it is not noted to be a noble phantasm itself, it is utilized in the invocation of both of Iskandar's known noble phantasms. Incidentally, the historical Iskandar is said to have used a kopis instead. Ryder also seems to be skilled in knife throwing, being able to kill one of the Hassan of the 100 Faces with his own knife. In his Fate Go animation update, Iskandar also uses a spear. He also possesses the power to imbue his weapons and attacks with the power of lightning. In Fate Extella Link, one of his moveset skills is to summon some of his soldier from Onioi Hitairoi to rush or throw spears at their enemies. Skills. Class skills. Riding, A+ rank, the skill of riding animals and vehicles. Creatures on the level of Phantasmal Beast and Divine Beast can be used as mounts. However, that does not apply to members of the dragon kind. Magic resistance, D rank, cancel single action spells. Magic resistance of the same degree of an amulet that rejects magical energy. Personal skills. Charisma, a rank natural talent to command an army. Can be said to have achieved the greatest popularity as a human being. Divinity, C rank, despite the absence of clear evidence, according to many stories it is said he is the son of Zeus, the greatest of gods. Tactics, B rank, when Iskandar was alive, his military prowess that resounded in the Islamic world derived into many heroic tales and was propagated all over Asia. Tactical knowledge used not for one-on-one combat situations, but for battles where many are mobilized. Bonus modifiers are provided during use of one's own anti-army noble phantasm or when dealing against an enemy anti-army noble phantasm. Noble phantasms. Via expugnatio. The trampling attack performed with noble phantasm, Gordius wheel. The damage is decided twice, first by the hooves, then the wheels of the chariot. Along with all physical damage, there are also the effects of lightnings, the manifestation of Zeus. Should the target fail its STR check, additional damage will be dealt. it is able to close the 100-meter gap between her and Saber in an instant. However, it isn't fast enough and Artoria destroys it with Excalibur. Ionioi Hetairoi. Iskandar's trump card is Ionioi Hetairoi, a noble phantasm that rivals the King of Heroes Gate of Babylon. With it, Iskandar creates a reality marble, an endless desert where tens of thousands warriors that used to form his armies are summoned. Each of these warriors is their own independent servant without a master with an E-rank independent action skill, allowing materialization possible for a maximum of 30 turns. During his fight with Gilgamesh, Iskandar was weakened from fighting Saber, who destroyed his chariot and subsequently lost.
If you like this content, don't forget to like and subscribe. See you later, bye bye.